I can't see it all. This is probably going to be a last minute Christmas gift for a friend of mine. I really need to get this done tonight. This is the size of paper we'll be working with. It's a sanded paper. I don't remember what kind. I think it's UR 400 or maybe 600 grit, but it holds a lot of pastel on it. We're going to be using pastel pencils since it is so tiny. We need to get started. There's no time for funny business tonight. This is serious. This is pastel. First, we need to choose our reference photo. Here's the reference photo I'm choosing, and right next to it, it says, Sandhill Crane struts beside a favorite marsh. I don't know how they would know that's his favorite marsh, but I'll take their word for it. I don't feel like going into the other room to find painter's tape, so instead we're going to be using this medical tape. That is from back when I was tattooing, but I haven't tattooed in a while, so we might as well put some use to it. Now that we've taped our paper onto our flat surface, it's time to get working. Just from looking at our photo here, I see a lot of blues in it, so I think I'm gonna do a blue underpainting. Here's a better look at the pencils that we're using. Okay, these are all the colors that I've picked out. Just makes it easier to pick from a smaller batch of pencils when I'm working, otherwise it gets overwhelming. Okay, now it's time to get started with our outline. Usually I choose a fairly light color. When you're making art, it kind of always looks a little ugly in the beginning, but usually by the end it all comes together. And I'm gonna start to fill in the darker parts of the bird, like this shadow here, underneath the legs here, these feathers. I also wanted to mention I have this little piece of paper next to it to swatch my pastel pencils before I actually put them onto my painting. Although there's colors like labeled on there and you can see them, they are not always accurate to how they look once you've colored with them. So this color is more of like an ashy brown color, or even like a charcoal gray. It's like almost black in some parts, so we're gonna start with brown or black. I haven't decided yet. This is what our sandhill crane looks like so far. Pretty cute. Some artists say you're not ever supposed to use pure black, but I do it all the time. And my art turns out at least okay, so there's that, you know. Sometimes art rules are very helpful, but sometimes I feel like they can be kind of limiting, so it's a lot of trial and error for me to see what rules work for me and which rules don't. Now I'm going in with this brown color that's a little bit reddish, and I'm also placing it over some of the darker blue that I had put there before, and just in random spots that I think it would work. Honestly, most of what I'm doing is guesswork, and yeah, I guess hopefully it works out. Okay, that's pretty light, but is it too light? I don't know. I think that looks good. Another pastel rule that I learned is that you're supposed to start with your darks and go to your lights, and I think I generally do follow that rule. It's helpful for me to have a mandatory starting point. I just accidentally huffed a cloud of pastel smoke, so yeah, not blowing on your painting is a good rule. Also because there's been other times I've blown away the dust on a painting and I've accidentally spit on it and it's ruined my paper. Okay, I am gonna go back in with some gray because I do like rainbow birds, but I want you to be able to tell that he's a sandhill green at the end of the day. I'm mostly gonna layer it over this brown. I wanted that shade of brown, but I didn't want that temperature. You know what I mean? I wanted it to be like a cooler brown, but all I had was a warm brown in that shade, so to make it cooler, I'm just gonna go over it with this gray. I feel almost done with the bird. I think I need to do the eyeball really quick. I'm not sure what color background exactly. I know his favorite color is green, and green would go nicely with the red here. I think I'm gonna choose a larger pastel piece because it'll be a little bit easier, and then also a pastel pencil to do the edges of my bird so that I don't mess it up too much. But usually I do have to go back in and touch up the edges when I do the background, so we'll see how that goes. was a straw.